my 9-year-old was looking before I turned on the video, and she said, "Dad, you're orange." Jeez. At least I'm not black. God, what a blessing, Paleo. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna keep my promise. I'm gonna show you how the Mormons treat you. Okay, let me get this a gentleman. Yeah, here's one that's a psychologist. Okay, here's sergioroap. And let me do it again. sergioroap. And he's writing in on Mitney, the kiss of death. The Mormon will ruin this country. And he says, go to psychologist, ... Need help. Okay, now that's not outstandingly rude, and I have to admit that's not outstandingly rude. And again, I hate it when people do this to me, and it's not totally fair. I think we need to stick with the topic of his sentence, but he does have a psychologist spelled wrong. So, that doesn't necessarily, you know me, I have many misspellings too, and I have a learning disability that causes that. Not a brain disability. So anyway, I just wanted his bishop and his stake president to know he's watching my videos. He's one of the, well, it's going on 15,000 now. I am going to retire my videos when I get to 30,000, and I'm almost halfway there because I've always wanted to talk in the conference center, and that's how much they hold. And the next general conference will say, and now we have the pleasure of hearing from David. As I stand up, the whole place would clear out. But anyway, I just want to keep giving you ongoing examples. It's not what these people say. It's what they do. And let me just make a side comment. I have looked at the privacy. Maybe it's the lack of privacy that the Mormon Church puts on its websites. If you click on I'm a Mormon, or you click on the chat room, or you give them any information about you, including when you click on, they've got your ISP. There's no doubt they say that. They say that. And they'll say things on their Privacy Act like, we respect your privacy. And under no circumstances will these videos ever be used except for... And it's like the medications on TV. They say, this is a new medication, but we want to be aware, you will be aware of the side effects. Your ears will fall off, your head will fall off, you'll have no sex life, you won't be able to talk or see or ever go to the bathroom again. But this is a good medication. Do not take it with alcohol. Well, I wouldn't. I just take the alcohol. I think I'd feel a lot better. So anyway, the Privacy Act, and again, I have a little bit of a law background, not much, 1 year, Ventura Law School in California, and so I have a little bit of an eye, and I read pretty fast. And as I looked down through it, I said to myself, I would never purposely click on a Mormon website. They do, if you're a member of the church, they will trace you down, and they will share with your local unit information that you request, right, or that you state, so you don't have your free agency. You're going to be scared to death. And this gentleman that wrote to me, and I guess he's a doctor, he wants to refer me to a psychiatrist, where I've been many times. They just say, there's no hope, just send his ass home. Just send him home and take him off our list that we never saw him. One of my youngest sons of one of my marriage, I get along pretty well with. And I said to him the other day, I said, Dan, I said, I've been calling my psychiatrist down in Provo several times. And he doesn't answer the phone. I don't know if he went dead or if he's out of business or whatever. And Dan looked up to me, and he's cute as can be. He's one of my sweet kids. And he said, well, Dad, maybe he got caller ID. My kids are as bad as I am as far as humor. So they're not afraid to be humorous to me. But I just have to say, that the Privacy Act of the Mormon Church is basically you have no privacy. Whatever information we gather on you, we can keep and we can use unless the state law says we can't. Well, now, I haven't checked it. Okay, I haven't checked it, but I don't need to. If the state laws require them to notify you, then they have to notify you. But Utah, believe me, Utah is one of the states that probably doesn't have any notification law. And so they don't have to notify you when they send your name to the committee to strengthen the members or to your bishop and say, you know, this man has been on David's website and he's clicked on, I'm a Mormon. They know. They gather more FBI and CIA files than any organization in the world. In Salt Lake, we have an FBI building, and I haven't told you this before, but God, it is full of Mormons. I think the amount of FBI agents in the federal FBI building in Salt Lake has about 33, maybe 35% LDS people that are working there. Because Mormons love to spy on people. It's in here. They have no life, so if someone's having sex or someone is, you know, going somewhere and taking drugs or, you know, having a good time in life, they want to see it because they live vicariously through this. Well, we just had a great big scandal in the FBI that a lot of the agents were taking extremely sensitive terrorist files home and leaving them in their car by the Book of Mormon and by the priesthood manual in the back seat. So, and some of them have taken them some money. And so anyway, the committee to strengthen the members is another lying sentence. It's a committee to spy on the members, and anybody that's out of line, we're going to get you, and you will be notified by your bishop. So I want to be upfront. I want to be transparent. I want to tell the truth, and I love being out of the Mormon Church because I can speak the truth. I'm responsible for what I say. I'm responsible for my truth. No one is paying me. Look at my staff behind me, you know. I don't let her show her face, but my 9-year-old is sick on the bed. She's just faking it, but she's sick on the bed. So Dad is watching her and recording. So I'm going to make public the way the Mormons are trained to treat people that don't believe. I'm not a criminal. I don't have any criminal record. I've done nothing except I don't believe in the Mormon Church anymore. They go into a rant and raving and rude and crude and not to me, but hurting comments to other people and harass people. So let me take a look at this man's name again, and I'll publish it on. His name is Sergioroap. And he says, go to a psychologist. Need help. I guess he means me, that I need help. So anyway, let me just let them be public, let them be responsible, and you can look at their Mormon ads and see, oh, how sweet they are, in the music in the background, the lighting is perfect, they love everybody, you know, come join us. And then when you come on a video show and you say, hey, that's not my experience, I didn't find that happiness 50 years, and I didn't find those blessings. I wasn't excommunicated. I told you that on all my videos. I had a temple recommend when I said, hey, you know, homie, don't play that. I'm out of here. And now the Mormons hate me. I didn't do anything. I haven't, you know, put up billboards and anti-Mormon, you know, gathering signatures and trying to be the enemy, but they're trained to fight, fight, fight. They really believe the world is against them. We're not against the Mormons. Please don't knock on our doors. If you want to put advertisements up, we can look the other way. There's no crime in putting a $10,000 a month billboard up with your people's tithing money that says, come and visit, you know, Temple Square. Hey, I don't have to look at that going down the road. But when you guys are obnoxious on my TV and or knocking on my door, then I say, whoa, whoa. You know, be like the Quakers. Just live your religion. Just show the world how happy you are. Don't tell us how happy you are. Don't tell us that we're an abomination. Don't tell us that we're apostates. Don't tell us we're sinners. Don't tell us we've had our feelings hurt. None of that's true. In your mind it's true, because you're in a cult, and a cult must play those tapes over and over to defend. There are just many of us, and the resignations now, our latest figures are over 100,000 a year. People like me that just say, hey, I've read the history, and Mountain Meadows, and killing 120 innocent people there, and Brigham Young wanting to cut off the heads of all the blacks in the world if they intermarry, and Joseph Smith marrying 14-year-olds and sleeping with them, and gold plates that disappeared, and you know, it goes on and on. It goes on. You can look on the internet yourself. I don't believe it. That's not a criminal activity. I can get on the YouTube. I don't say, look at me, look at me. Now, I have, and I'm going to admit this, okay? I have put now more advertising on my videos. That's me. That's me. No one forced me to do that. But I'm going to use the advertising money that I get, and it's not substantial, believe me, to feed some of the kids in the Philippines. I'm sending my money to the orphanage that I was at in Butuan on Mindanao Island. And that's the way I want to spend my money. The Mormon Church wants to spend their money on a $5 billion mall. That's their right, and it's their privilege. But they don't have a right and a privilege to be immune from criticism. They don't have that right. Every human being can go, $5 billion? Why, you know, David's sending $100 here and there, and that feeds kids in the Philippines for months and months, and you build a $5 billion mall? You guys decide for yourself. It's the left side of the mind. It's the left side of the mind. If you think Jesus appeared to the Hinkster and said, I own the entire universe, I've created everything, but I'm not good at building. Could you build me a mall? And Hinkster goes, yeah, I'll build you a mall. And he did. And he told Hinkster also to redo the alumni building down in Provo at the BYU campus and put your name on it. And you can have your birthday party down at the BYU and the Marriott Center, and I don't care if you spend $1 million or more. You're a good man. You've never had a job in your life except when you were 18 or 19 at the railroad for a year, and the rest of the time you've lived off the members of the church. You should be rewarded. We and the world is not against the Mormons. The Mormons are against the truth. They can't hide their background. They can't hide their history. They can't hide their doctrine. They can't hide the atrocities that they've been involved in. Those are truthful things. You know, it's like the KKK saying, black people welcome. Who's going to believe that? Anyone that has a basic education in the United States is going to go, I don't think black people are welcome in that organization. So, I've made this gentleman public, and let me make one more comment here, and I think it's important. My form here is for me, and my form is for therapy, to get me deprogrammed from some of the continual triggers that I have being a Mormon for a half a century. Now, I just noticed in my comments that I've got 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or 4 gentlemen that are arguing with each other. Okay, I don't argue. I'm done. I'm not fighting the Mormon Church. I'm not fighting an individual in the Mormon Church. But I do believe in true free agency. I'm not going to block these guys off of my video comments. I'm not going to do it because everyone has a right to say what their heart and their mind wants to say. But I want to make an open comment and statement that when people send me, like this gentleman here, send me something like, you need to see a psychiatrist, I'll probably write back to him, you're right, period, 2 words. And I don't argue. I'm not getting into scriptures. I'm not getting into were there 119 people killed at Mountain Meadows or 120. I've read the miracle of forgiveness. I've read the first 1,000 or 2,000 years by Skousen. I've read the documented history of the church completely, and B.H. Roberts, the history of the church completely. I've read, I was a 4-year seminary student when I was in high school, and I have a degree from BYU, which required me to take, I think, 30 or 35 religion classes. So I know the Mormon Church. I don't care if you believe it or you don't believe it. I know the ins and outs, and I lived it for a half a century, so I'm somewhat of an expert in the Mormon church. So I don't have to defend what I'm saying. I don't have to argue with anybody. And these new and upcoming young people that are 25 or 35 that haven't seen all the real damage yet, or haven't really read the real history of the church, that Joseph Smith killed one man and shot another one or two more through the door at Carthage. Yeah, he wasn't a martyr. That was the Mormons that shot him. It wasn't the Missourians. The Missourians didn't even know he was there. Only the people in Nauvoo knew he was there, and they went there and got him. So if you want to argue on my comments, I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow it. And you can say anything you want. You can swear. You can, give me the finger. You can give me the thumbs up and down and whatever. I want to be open, free, and I want to be transparent. And not everyone's going to agree with me. There's 15,000 of you in 2 months that have hit my videos. And I've got a few fingers down, and I've had a few fingers up from probably less than 8 Mormons. I think there's been less than 8 comments out of 1,500 or 15,000 that have been negative, swearing, you're an idiot, you're a bastard. I mean, I can always tell the Mormons because I was there. I know how they're trained. I know the words they're going to use. And so if you want to write in or write to people that I expose, that's your business. That is 100% your business. And when they expose themselves publicly, then I have no liability. No liability. You can write to them, you can argue, you can call them idiots, but don't do it in the name of David. Okay, I don't approve of those kinds of tactics. I don't approve of arguing, jumping up and down, calling each other idiots and saying you're a liar, you're a liar. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. And there's no way to deprogram a Mormon unless you tickle them to death. Humor they can't handle, and they've taken a vow in the temple that they're not allowed any light-mindedness or loud laughter. And if you give them light-mindedness and loud laughter, that spills the endorphins from the brain that makes them feel good. And the church doesn't want them to feel good. The church wants them to be very miserable, very scared, very hostile, and a 2,000 strapling warriors for Jesus. So please, you do what you want. But I'm just telling you, I'm past some of that, jumping up and down. But sometimes that jumping up and down is clinically required to deprogram from a cult. It's very similar to someone dying and going through a grieving process. There's 4, 5, 7 areas of grieving that you must go through to get closure on a death. And to get out of the Mormon church, I have found that there has to be some anger at the beginning and some betrayal feelings at the beginning, and losing your family and your children and your job and your self-esteem is a hard hit. It's a hard hit on people. So I have a lot of empathy for those that are watching, those that are thinking, those that may possibly in the future go, hey, I understand what David was saying now. But let the screaming and the yelling and the hostility be in my background. I don't care if it's on my comments, but you're not going to see it from me. You're not going to see it from me. I'm a happy atheist. I accept everybody. And if I see Jesus when I die, I'm going to say, you know what? I don't want to live with you. I don't like the way your people treated me down there. Send me into outer darkness. I brought 2 flashlights. I'm okay.